Sisters, Two Horses, and Mary. On side 3, so disc 2, side 1, has Happy Birthday and For the Cold Country. And side 4, so disc 2, side 2, has Nancy Tries to Take the Night, Forever How Long, and Goodbye, Don't Tell Me. My favorite songs off of just